She was the one, actually, also, she was the one that treated, you know that, she was the one that treated him so badly, and she treated Kavanaugh very badly, too. Nobody was ever ruder, nobody ever suffered like Justice Kavanaugh suffered in the hands and the mouths of those horrible people. The way he was tortured was disgrace, and they had nothing. Those women, that was all made up. Most of them have already admitted it was all made up lies, false accusations, and they made him suffer. And the leader of the pack, I would say, was Kamala was the worst, and Pocahontas was a close second. How's Pocahontas doing since she destroyed Bloomberg? How about Bloomberg? Did he get killed? Now he's trying to come back. He's trying to buy his way back into the Democrat Party. I'm going to put up $100 million in Florida. We're going to go. We're going to go. He wants to be back so badly. Did any man, here's a guy, he spent like $2 billion. It's almost $2 billion now, they're finding out. He had some of the dumbest advisors, people I know, some of the dumbest people. You know, if he would have just kept spending a couple of $100 million a week on ads, he could have won. He could have won. Unfortunately, he said, no, I want a debate. He went and sued to get into the debates. That was not a good lawsuit. They settled by saying, we'll let you in the debate. The first question, he was destroyed. You would think that the way the Democrats treated him, he would really come to me and say, I want you. But his hatred and jealousy, you know, he wanted to be president, but he doesn't have the capability of being president. But he's going down now to Florida. He's going to spend $100 million. How good, I have to say this, I'm not a fan of Elizabeth Warren. I gave her the name Pocahontas. I thought that was the end. Remember I used to say about her? She has, oh, well, you know it. You know. I would just look. I said, this is not an Indian. She said, I'm an Indian. Do you remember when I said, I have more Indian blood than me? I have more in me than she has, and I have none. Unfortunately, I'd like to have some. I would like to have some. I think it could help. It might make me better. But I have none, and I said, I have more than she does. And then she went out and she choked. Remember that? And she went out and she took a test. And it found out that about 700 years ago, there was a possible event. 1024th, right? Wasn't that it? Good memory, very good memory. Trump has a good memory. Good memory. Not for that, but for a lot of it. No, 1024th, which meant, you know, many, many, many centuries ago. There could have been a hookup somewhere along the line. But she choked. We forced her into a choke. She went down like a rock, and then she started coming up, 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 up. Then she totally destroyed Mike Bloomberg. We call him Mini Mike, remember? Mini Mike, he wants that platform. I want a platform, damn it. I don't mind. Oh, boy, he was pathetic. But now he's going to try and buy his way back into the Democrat Party. Who was the other guy, the other rich guy? He just kept spending money. What was his name? You remember that guy? Great environmentalist. Except he made his money with coal, which is okay. I think coal is good. Clean coal. I like clean coal. If we had listened to Joe Biden, hundreds of thousands more Americans would have died. You know that. He was way behind. This was months later. And then I watched him last night reading something saying that I closed it up 1 week late, right? 1 week. 2 months later, he was talking about the fact that I shouldn't be doing that to China. I shouldn't be banning China because I was xenophobic. And it's just unbelievable. And now they will say anything. It's called disinformation. They will make up a lie, they will make up a story, and they go with it. It makes no difference whether or not it's true. And they'll take ads. It's the worst group of people. He's surrounded by bad people, dishonest people, but they're very smart. He's not smart. They keep him from talking. It's actually, you know, if he wins, it's the single most brilliant campaign in the history of the world. Because they took a man who's got nothing. He didn't have it, but he's got nothing. And I will give them credit, the single greatest campaign in history if he wins. But you know what? If he wins, North Carolina is screwed. And so is every place else. And you can forget your tobacco industry. You can forget your farmers. I gave the farmers $28 billion. Thank you very much, President Xi. $28 billion. Because you were targeted, right? You were targeted by China. And I said, how much were the farmers? Iowa, Nebraska, all of them. You were targeted. I said, how much? Sonny Perdue. I said, how much, Secretary? 12 billion and 16 billion. You were targeted. I took it out of the tariffs. We never took 10 cents in from China. Now we're getting billions and billions and billions of dollars. And I took just a small part of it, $28 billion. That's a lot of money, but it was a small part of what we've gotten. They can't believe it. So who do you think China would like to see win? Sleepy Joe that never took anything, or Trump? He's charging him so much. They go, we're driving him a little crazy. They don't like Trump too much. But now Biden is recklessly campaigning against this vaccine. It's really reckless, and all it is for political reasons. It's political reasons. Biden, his whole deal is catastrophic shutdown. He wants, we're getting better. We're really coming along, and he's talking about shutting down. We're not doing any shutdowns. We don't need shutdowns. Maybe a little area, if it starts to spike, we understand we have to take care of our senior citizens. This guy he said, well, I'll do whatever my medical people want. I believe in science. He doesn't know what science is. I believe in science. No, we're not doing any shutdowns. We're rounding the turn. Without the vaccine, we're rounding the turn. With the vaccine, it'll just speed it up. That's another one will be controversial. They'll say, he's saying that it's happened. Yeah, without the vaccine, it's going along. With the vaccine, even better. It'll be faster. Biden's own chief of staff said when they managed the H1N1 that he calls the N1H1, right? He goes, the N1H1, and that's an easy one because H comes before N. But he always gets it wrong. It's like 7 times. It's great to be with the great people of Iowa. They'll say, sir, you're in Idaho. Oh. I've never made that mistake so far. But I always say, if you do, just leave the stage because you can never recover. You can speak as well as I mentioned Winston Churchill. He was a great speaker. He was a stutterer, and he became one of the greatest speakers ever. You can be Winston Churchill. If you make that mistake, just leave the stage. You can't recover. But he's made it oftentimes, right? New Hampshire, and it was Vermont. The worst, I think, was, there was one, he was in Ohio, and he said he was in Florida, right? But he couldn't find any palm trees. We just got a poll from Ohio through the roof. Great state of Ohio. Good governor. Great state of Ohio. But when they managed the H1N1 swine flu, this was from his top person that ran it, quote, we did every possible thing wrong. 60 million Americans got H1N1 in that period of time, and it was just a total disaster. He basically said we didn't know what the hell we were doing. And this is the guy that's going to tell us what to do with something that's much more lethal, much more lethal. This is much more lethal than the swine flu. If H1N1 had the same fatality rate as the China virus, over 2 million people would have already perished. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. And the guy admitted it. That guy cannot be very popular in Democrat politics right now, right? But just remember, and he's telling us how to do things. We're building ventilators. We're the ventilator capital of the world now. Think of it. We're sending them to other countries. We have so many. And we have made a lot of governors look very good. And they all admit it until the press comes in front where they say, oh, it was okay. But we took care of them. We took care of governors. We took care of the states. On November 3rd, North Carolina will decide whether we will quickly return to record prosperity or whether we allow Joe Biden to impose a $4 trillion tax hike. Ban American energy. Confiscate your guns. These are all things he said. Shut down our economy. Destroy the suburbs. You know, they were saying that women in the suburbs, they're not sure if they like me. They're starting to like me a lot lately because it's law and order. They want law and order. Thank you. A suburbanite. Thank you. Thank you. No, it's true. I don't know. But I heard the same thing 4 years ago. Remember? Women will not vote for him. Then we win the election. It's like they're all in shock. Well, what took place? Well, he did very well with women. What the hell was that all about, right? Did very well. Women were great. Hey, we were way above everything. African American, we did great. Hispanic, we did great. Have you seen African American and Hispanic American numbers? If it holds true, we will have set a record for a Republican, which is very good. No, if it holds true. Well, a lot of jobs.